Have you ever felt trapped by your own anger or resentment? Embark on an enlightening voyage, one that's about healing and personal evolution. Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to find peace in letting go? Have you ever? I invite you in joining me as we traverse the profound and lasting impact of releasing past grievances and wholeheartedly adopting a stance of forgiveness. I know this is a crucial topic and is one that not so many people want to cover. So unearth the reason why forgiveness is potent, instrument for our own spiritual emancipation and inner tranquility. Prepare to immerse yourself in the world of forgiveness, mend the scars of past hurts, and forge a path illuminated by hope and renewal. As I'm going through this, I might make mistakes. I might say words that, I'm human, so forgive me. As we navigate this exploration, we reveal how the power of forgiveness isn't just a concept. It is a life-altering reality. So let's understand forgiveness. Embarking on the journey, let's define our start point. Where do we start? So, what is forgiveness? It is the mindful, intentional choice to relinquish sentiments of resentment or the desires of retaliation against those who have inflicted hurt upon you, irrespective of whether they merit being forgiven. Let's start from there. Hello, I'm Esther Miner, and I'm here to guide you through the transformative journey of forgiveness. So unlocking this path of healing and personal growth. There are common misconceptions about forgiveness. I'm sure you've heard of some, and I would love to hear some of those misconceptions in the chat. Common misconception about forgiveness. It is not uncommon for people to misconstrue forgiveness, perceiving it is a sign of excusing the wrongful action or as a display of weakness. The truth, however, is far from this. The truth is far from this. Forgiveness isn't just about erasing memories or justifying the pain inflicted upon you, nor is it about reconciliation with the perpetrator. That's not it. So why is it that forgiveness, it is not about others? It is not about the person. It is actually about you. Why is that? Or did you never know that? Did you know that? I would love to hear it. It is about you. Forgiveness. Fundamentally, forgiveness, it isn't centered on the one who caused you harm. Instead, its essence is for your benefit and your healing journey. It is the process of letting go, voluntarily letting go of anger and bitterness that shackles you, thereby creating an expansive space for serenity, happiness, and personal growth. Forgiveness is about you. The power of forgiveness, scientific evidence of the benefits of forgiveness, scientifically. There's research on this that has consistently demonstrated that the act of forgiving, it contributes to a multitude of benefits. And I'll just mention some, such as heightened happiness, better health, reinforced relationship, diminished stress levels, all these things. And there are so many you can research. So how can forgiveness transform your life? When you surrender long-standing grudges, you don't simply enhance your mental well-being. You clear the way for a flood of positive emotions. And this transformative shift can lead to profound empathy. Have you ever experienced those people you meet and this person just has empathy in them and you wish you could just have 1% of that? And ultimately, a significant elevation in life quality. And not just that, there's a whole lot of it. The art of forgiveness. So why is forgiveness an art? Art, not act, art, A-R-T. As with, like as with a form of art, mastering forgiveness, it requires a lot. It requires dedication and practice. For it is not just an action to perform once. This is not something you do once and cast aside. On the contrary, it entails a continuous commitment that demands patience, empathy, and a generous heart. So what is that steps that you can take? What are those steps that you can take to forgive someone or something? To truly extend forgiveness to another entails a progression of steps. It begins with recognizing and acknowledging the pain caused. We don't cast the pain away, we acknowledge it. We acknowledge it, fostering empathy towards the individual responsible for your heart. Embracing and releasing the inflicted pain, and ultimately advancing forward, fostering personal growth for the ordeal. It is tough. It is not where I say it is easier said than done. Dealing with emotions during the process of forgiveness. There are so many emotions we go through. There's so many emotions you'll go through. I've been there. The path to forgiveness is often lined with a complex array of emotions. A lot. It's vital to give yourself the grace to experience these emotions fully. You have to. There's no shortcut. This is the way. Without pushing them away or invalidating your feelings. No, it is you deal with the emotions. You accept, you acknowledge there's pain. The challenge is in forgiveness. So why is forgiveness so hard? Have you ever noticed that? Oh my God, I know it is a choice, but it is hard. Confronting the challenge of forgiveness is formidable because it calls for a deliberate choice to set aside deeply rooted resentment and anger, emotions that can often feel justified and intensely empowering. Oh, it is a choice, but it is a tough one. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. Common obstacles to forgiveness. You will step through these obstacles. So common barriers that hinder the forgiveness process. It includes the yearning for vengeance, the misconception that forgiveness is equivalent to absolving the wrongdoer, and the daunting question of how to commence the act of forgiveness, act of forgiving. I'll give you some tips. Tips to overcome these challenges. That the vengeance. To navigate these challenges, it is essential to embrace the authentic essence of forgiveness. To connect sincerely with your feelings, not anyone else, it is for you. And to cultivate a practice of empathy and of compassion towards others and yourself. You practice compassion towards yourself and others. Forgiveness is for you. So in summing up, forgiveness stands as a profoundly transformative tool, personal metamorphosis and healing beginning. It isn't concerned with the transgressor. It is about your passage to a place of peace and contentment. Remember, forgiveness is an intricate art, not art that asks for endurance, devoted time, and instant practice. You need to keep practicing this. Let's thus envision and work towards a radiant future, one in which forgiveness lights the path. As we draw our discussion to a close, I extend an invitation to you to welcome forgiveness into your life, for it wields the remarkable ability to revolutionize your existence. Please put in the comments. I know the journey is tough. The journey to forgiveness, it is tough, but it begins by acknowledging forgiveness. It is about you. It is not about that person. It is not about that situation. It is not about whatever it is. Whatever it is you're finding so hard hard, begin by giving yourself the grace. Because definitely you want peace. And to get to that peace, to get to that good night's sleep, to get to that, that light. Just always say that there is light at the end of the tunnel. To get to that light, you're going to be willing. You're going to be open to forgiveness. It starts by acknowledging it. Truly, it is tough, but I am open to just discussing it. I am open to this idea of forgiveness. I know it is tough, but just be open to it. Because once you close your mind off, like, I will never forgive. I don't even know, how can I do that? It is you forget about the how to forgive, or you will never, and be open to be like, okay, I'm not going to forgive, but you know what? I am open to this idea of forgiveness. It is first of all opening up the gates. Because you cannot speak about forgiveness when you've already closed the gates of forgiveness. And it is not about you working on the vengeance. I believe in God. It is also written that the vengeance is God's. So, God, not like God's, not too many God. God, the vengeance is mine. That's what it says. But it is tough. But you have to fight. If you're a believer in Christ, you ask in the prayer. We all know the prayer, our Father who art in heaven, that prayer. There is that part of asking for forgiveness. But how do you ask for forgiveness when you yourself can't even forgive, or you're not even open to forgiveness? Forgiveness is not about whoever did you wrong. It is about yourself choosing peace. And if you've gone through whatever it is, or if you're going through that thing that you're like, I'm not going to forgive this, there is always something positive in anything negative. So whatever it is that you're not ready to forgive, you never know. Maybe it is right there to teach you the art of forgiveness. Maybe it is right there to open you up to the possibility of forgiveness. Maybe it is the peace at the end of the tunnel calling upon your name to let go, to just give it a shot of letting go and receive the light at the end of the tunnel. It is about you being open to it. It is tough. It is not going to be an easy journey. It is not just one thing that you do and you let go. Don't harden your heart. Be open to forgiveness. And once you forgive, you will feel the peace that no one else, that not even a human understanding can understand what kind of peace you go through. And sometimes people will look at you like you're foolish. How can you forgive that? It is not about them. It is not about the perpetrator. It is not about anyone else. It is about you. Give it a shot. Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear your journey. I'd love to hear, once you've forgiven, what is that feeling? I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to hear it. Not only me, but also others who are watching too. I welcome you to receiving peace at the end of the tunnel. Once you've forgiven, it takes one step to forgive. But it is a long journey. But you gotta take the first step. Be willing, be open to forgiveness. How does it feel? What do you think it feels? Can you imagine the feeling of you being free, of you letting go of the load, of the vengeance, of whatever it is? It starts with you. It's you knowing that you're doing it for you. And I know it is tough. I know it is tough to forgive. You know why? Because we human beings, we tend to do for others so much more than we do for ourselves. So if you know, like, yeah, I'm not going to forgive because I'm looking for vengeance, for it is not about you, it is about them. I'm looking to do the same thing to them. Then there is that power. There's that energy that is fueling that. But at the end of the day, forgiveness is for you. You want that peace of mind? You want to sleep better at night? You want all this? You want that little taste of peace, that little taste of calmness, of letting go, of carrying burdens and burdens? It is you begin by accepting it is tough, opening up to forgiveness. Not even like, don't put it in your head like, yeah, I'm going to forgive. I'm open. Just say, I am open to the idea of forgiveness. And you know how you do it? You might not say it to yourself. You can type in the chat. Let the world hold you accountable that yes, you're open to the idea of forgiveness. If you cannot speak to yourself, if you cannot speak to the perpetrator, put in the comments, I'm open to forgiveness. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm open. Open yourself up. Open the gate before you take the first step. Thank you. And congratulations to being open in the idea of forgiveness.